Hey there, it's Bootzone here. This is a Hotpoint WMA32 washing machine. It's got an interesting fault where when you turn it on to any cycle that involves spinning the motor, which I think is every cycle, it'll either drain out or let water in first and do all it's meant to do. But as soon as the motor comes on, it goes and does a big lurch. And then it has some kind of an abort with a number of lights not flashing but stuck on in a sequence that suggests it's an error code. Maybe it's not an error code, I don't know. I'll cut in a bit of that footage now, I think. So you can see that it just like jumps and then stops, and it doesn't do any more motor stuff. And I suspect it's something to do with the TRIAC, which is on the control board, which hopefully is in here. Could be the brushes, that's the other thing on the motor. So I've got the machine plugged out, and I'm going to have a look, taking the lid off, and have a look at this TRIAC and just solder in a new one, I think. It's the easiest thing to do if I've got a spare. So let's get to it. In on the side here, there's a little flap, little kind of cover plate. I'm just using my fingernails to get it out. It should have two little legs on it, but one's missing, and the cover is completely missing on this side. So I just took out that screw, Torx screw, one on each side, and the top should lift out somehow. We'll have a look at that now. So the screw comes out, and put some gloves on because I keep shredding my hands doing this kind of stuff. Up and forward or back normally. Back it is, and in we go. Oh, and it's not a sealed tub. I thought this was a sealed tub machine. It's got screws all around, so it's a replaceable bearings tub. 10 to 10, doesn't say what happened on that date, but 10th of February, 11 years ago. Maybe a manufacturing date, although don't know. General domestic soap drawer. There might be another date on it somewhere. Oh, there's something else written down here, 2010, so it might have had bearings before. I want to get in here. To do that, if I open the soap drawer, press this little tab here, center, that soap drawer pops out. It's a bit grim, but that'll all clean up. It would clean up if I had any intention of fixing it, but I don't really, I've got to say. So down here there's 3 screws, one here, one beneath that screw. So 2 screws hold the soap drawer together to the front, and then 1 screw holds the plastic onto the metal frame behind. I think I always find it a bit bizarre that, you know, they'll use Torx screws up on top, and then they'll use Phillips screws here, and then occasionally some machines will use, you know, 1 screw. That screw's just spinning, which is a bit weird. Let's see if I can pull it out and twist it at the same time. Yeah, it seems to be going. Okay. Don't know why that's spinning. It's probably just used too much juice to take it out last time, whenever someone removed it. Something sounded like it broke and fell down there, don't know what. This usually just lifts to the right, or slides to the right and pops forward. And in here, it's a bit crusty. The cables are a bit crusty, but let's have a look. Now, this doesn't help me much because there's 2 TRIACs. Yeah, right, I don't want to replace both of them, but I guess that might be the choice. If I flip these 2 tabs down, one at a time, one down, 3 tabs, 2, 3, come on. Doesn't want to come out. It's probably stuck on this knob or something. Let's turn it to off. 1, 2, oh, not yet. There we go. Oh, we're back on this one. There we go. Pop that off, and there's another little cable going to that speed control at the front. Let's pop that off, and let's see if we can forget to put that back on. 2 TRIACs, twice as much work relatively. Couple of relays, 1, 2, 3 relays. A bit of corrosion on that choke coil transformer, maybe actually TR. That's what it says on it. Quite a simple board. So it's got surface mount all on this side, and then, well, they're all surface. Well, no, they're not surface mount. They're through mount on this side. What are we going to do? Do it in situ? There's only 6 points of solder to pull off. Possibly. Let's see. There's heat strips on the back. Interesting. Interesting. Let's get a closer look at this. I'm going to take it all apart actually, because then I can put it back together easier. do my work easier is what I mean. And this one, and these ones. I'm trying to remember that the black is on the left, like that. Okay, here's the board. What do you notice? What's the difference? One has a big heatsink on it. What's the odds that the other one's blown or that one's blown? Let's see if we can pop these. So it's interesting that it has 2 transistors. Normally they wouldn't have 2. I've got a cutters here, but I just want to use it as a little lever to twist. That's it, twist and push. And again, just using it to twist that tab and pop it out. You could maybe use your fingers if you were able. I suspect one of these has been repaired in the past. BTA 16800, BTA 16800. I think I have ones like that or similar. These fail and go open circuit, as someone said. That one hasn't got a great seal on it, so it's got a bit of tape in there. They don't look like they've been replaced. Where's the bloody thing gone? There we are. So these 3 here, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, they don't look like they've been desoldered, unless they were done very carefully. So I presume they're both original actually on that basis. Okay, so this one says ST fill. I've got it this way so that I can get it in at the camera. I wonder, can I do it that way? No, I've got to have it this way. BTA, is it? No, it's BTB 15 actually. That doesn't help. BTB 15 800 SW or BW. BTA 16 800 BW, and it's an MRC rather than a fill. I don't know what the difference in these things is. It doesn't help me. I presume one of those is dead. What am I going to do? I could hotwire it and just use it to throw a brick in it, which is what I'm inclined to do, but I would like to fix it. Just don't like the fact that I've got 2 different transistors here. I wonder if I just bung in any old transistors of the BT. Are they both? One's BTA and one's BTB. I'll see what I have. I wonder if I just bung in any old one from my spares that's similar, will it just do for the point of view of testing to see if that's the fault? And then if I needed to, I could get a proper one later on. So it was completely weird really that in my spares I think I have 2 very similar ones, if they're not identical. So let's do one first. So this one is BT, I can't see the bloody thing. Let's see it better. BTA 16. So BTA 16, BTA 16, and that's BTB 16. So do the BTA 16, that's this one. Nice hot soldering iron makes all the difference. Actually, I don't know which one it is. I'm going to presume it's this one. It's a little bit stuck. What is it stuck on? There we go. BTA 16 800 BW. Now I need to clean that and put a bit of paste on the back of it, and then what I'll do is I'll reassemble it and test it. And if it's not that side, it might be the other side. Just squeeze that stuff there. Oh shit. Presume that's the one that came off because it's dirty on the back. I need to be more careful, hey? BTA 16. So put that over there with the duds out of the way, hey? Loads of paste. Now I'm not the kind of person who's going to win points for my excellent soldering. I still like to give these things a go. So these should just snap in now. That will hold it in place while I'm soldering it. Okay. So it's this one. It's this one here. Looks alright to me actually, it's quite fast this time. There, it's that one there. That should do it. I'll put the clip on the other one so that it stays in position. Okay, we'll put it back together. Hope I'm doing them the right way around. I think so. They have a tendency to only go one way, but those singles, I guess, could go either way. Now, I'm just guessing where these went because I can see the track marks from the connectors there. Need to put the front on it to get this one on it, so I need to really clip this on here for the speed and somehow wiggle this into position. Wiggle, wiggle. Snap it shut. Don't know if that knob moved, so it might be in the wrong position now, but we will find out. Let's just put it in here temporarily. I'll secure it with one screw, I think. At least that way it's not going to walk off on me. And then let's give it a go. Okay, let's put the water on. Water's on, power's on, drain out is in the right position. Lights are on for off, so that's in the wrong bloody position then. So it's out by a number of positions there because it went that way, didn't it? Okay, so I have to move that around. This was silliness itself. Okay, so I've switched it off again. I'm going to unscrew it again. I'm going to clip that off again. I think it's got a cross-shaped connector behind that knob, so it'll only go in 4 positions. Well, yeah, 4, I guess. So pull that out. Yeah, twist it like that. I think I've put it into the off position now, I hope. Wiggle that back in. Click it back in. Put that back in like that. Screw this back in. The power back on. Let's start it off. Turn it to A. Pre-wash. A pre-wash. That looks good. Fast spin. And it either will or it won't. Close the door. Start. Door locked is flashing. Kick. Pump. So it's done a quick spin. That might quit now. I'm not sure if that's solved the problem. That was the same as last time. So I think I need to replace the other transistor. Just give it another minute. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that's what happened last time. It did it twice and then just decided it was done. Okay, back apart again. Turn it off. Turn it off. On the wall, plug it out. Unscrew this. Wiggle, wiggle. Set it to the off position again. There we go. Just click this one down. That's off. Can I do it just as quick without taking off the wires? I think if I take off these ones. I can wiggle it up on top like this, and that gives me a position to do the soldering in. So it's done with the big heatsink pad this time. Clip that off. My finger's on it there, so let's get the gun on it. Soldering iron is good and hot, and it makes all the difference. Simple as that, hopefully. Wiggle it out. Oh. What's it stuck on? Almost out. Come on out. There you go. We're out. That was BTB 16. Let's get the other one in. I'm going to remove this pad and replace it with a bit of sauce, because I don't know if that pad's doing the job it's meant to do. Bit of sauce on there, a little bit too much probably. I don't think you can have too much of this stuff really. I don't know. I'm sure there's technical heads who disagree. Just push that back in. I know we're not great in the shot here, but practicalities of doing a bit of work get in the way of making a video. Clip this thing back in. There we go. So now a bit more soldering this time. This might work and it might not. I should have checked the brushes first. I'll say as soon as it doesn't work. Solder, solder, solder. 3 little dabs. Looks good to me. Okay, that's the soldering for today, so the soldering iron can come off and cool down. And get this thing back together. Once again, like this. The motor block. Let's say that's the element, given that it's red, although it could be door interlock or something. I don't know what it is actually. Then with my other hand, hold this, slide on this connector here for the speed control. Set this to off. I'll try and hold everything in 2 hands. There we go. Slide it back in, slide it to the left. Let's attach the screw again. Why is it on slow spin rather than, I don't know. Right, power on, water on, fast spin on, final spin, looking good. Start, door lock, or pump, door lock again. There's the door lock, pump. Bit of a better spin this time, but that's not quite right, so we'll see what it does then. Don't know if that's fixed it or not actually. I'm just wondering, should there be a relay clicking on to change the direction? Sometimes these things... Now, is that what it did last time? Seems a lot like what it did last time. Could look at a relay. There's only 3 of them. Do them one by one as well. Might do that off camera. Might check the brushes first, because that was the other thing that was recommended. It doesn't seem to be a TRIAC fault, because we've replaced them. Arguably we've replaced them with ones that are broken, but I think I took them off boards that were working. So I've laid the machine down on its side to go in and look at the brushes. And underneath here, there's a brush up on top there, and there's a brush beneath there. But look at this tacho. Someone said tacho. A few people actually mentioned tacho in the comments. Look at the cables on the end of that tacho. Can you focus? I suspect that that cable is cut. Now the question, how to replace that cable, because I think it's very hard to see, but you see the way the one on the left of the 2 red cables looks okay, but the one on the right looks damaged. I don't know if that's from a little mouse or something else completely. but it's bloody cut at the end that's right beside the tacho. How to get that out? How to fix it? Blob of solder across the whole lot to bridge it to see if it works. It is a candidate for the hot wire. The commutator ring looks okay, and I can see that brush and that brush are definitely in contact and look okay. That's damage to the tacho. I've never seen that before. So I think I'm gonna have to get that motor out. There's a couple of screws on this end, there and there. It's not a big deal. Let's have a go. You could start with the brushes and it would have been the TRIAC. You could start with the TRIAC and it would have been the brushes. You could start with either of them and it would still be the tacho. Can't win with these things. I do think this is going to be an interesting belt to get back on. There's no space to do it. You can't see much here, but you will in a minute. That's the motor out. So then, what's really going on? It's been worn off something. Complete shame really, because I have no idea how I'm going to get a new one soldered in, because there's nothing to get it. Look, it's just held on by a barest little thread of the rubber. The far away one, the one on the left hand side of the picture is okay, but the one on the right is worn off. I wonder if I put a couple of blobs of solder just on it to hold it together. Do I have a spare tacho for this somewhere? I've got the motor in a vise just to see if we can get this cover off the end of it. It's just kind of snapped in. Really just have to force it off. There we go. So that's the connector block. And those are my wires. It's just to get me a bit of a cleaner view of here. I don't know where the other tacho's gone. I've looked in all of my little scrap buckets over the last few weeks. I haven't been to the scrapyard. I just have no idea where it's gone. It's very strange. What I'm kind of hoping to do is just get a blob of solder to join these two things. Whether or not that works is anyone's guess. So there is some wire there. So it only needs to send a signal. It doesn't need to have a big load of power going down it, as far as I know. If I could hold that in there and just get a blob of solder on, it might give me enough to test it. That's all I want to do. It's just this red cable on the left here. So we've got a lot of heat. We've got enough heat on this soldering iron. There's snot on it as well. Let's give that a blob of solder. It's hard to get it to stick because I can't exactly take it apart to clean it. I get some heat up here. There we go. Might be enough. It might be enough. It is held now. Just tidy that down a bit. Who knows if that's going to work, but it's as good as it's going to get, I think. So we'll put the motor back in. I would never sell a machine with a repair like that. Not that other people wouldn't, but I wouldn't. It really needs a new tacho. I don't believe you could buy a tacho for this, so it really needs a new motor. Next step. Slide that back down. And I'll put it back in the machine. It feels okay, actually. Hopefully there's electrical continuity getting through it. That's the main thing. I'll put it back in the machine and see what it looks like. Okay, I've replaced both TRIACs, didn't fix it, and now I've put a little dab of solder on that tacho output. Put the motor back in, put the belt back on, power back on, fast spin. Got my hose in the right place to drain out. The door interlock will probably flash. it is. So give it a kick, because... Ho, 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 ho. Look at that. So, I probably wasted the first half hour. If you can see on that drum at the bottom there, it does look like the drum's not centered properly. Ooh, interesting kind of juttering motion there. You can see it. Maybe you can see it on the ballast. You can maybe hear it. So it could be that my soldering job's awful. That's quite an interesting failure for me. There's something written in here under the ballast, so I'm going to take that off and have a look. Remembering, of course, that all of these things are live. Especially that live and neutral down there. So it's just a signature 10-2-10. Spinning a bit faster there now. Probably, I don't know, can it tell that there's nothing in it? Because there's no drain out pressure. Don't know what the cycle is on these things. It looked like there was a washer missing from the back here when I took off the ballast. And it looks like there's one of those metal things missing from here. So I suspect the bearings have been done on this, and that was suggested in the comments on the last video. There's evidence at the back. There's kind of like a brown sludge on that. You could see it on the motor, and you could see it down at the bottom in the last video, underneath the bearings down at the bottom in the back. Brown sludge. It's a sign the bearings have gone, but the bearings on this feel okay. So I suspect that the bearings have been replaced, possibly 11 years ago, on the 10th of February 2010. Sounds quite nice, actually. Not too bad. You can see down there's a bit of a wobble. While that's happening, I'm just going to screw the things back together. So you can hear the pump running the whole time, and then periodically the motor kicks in. I'm just looking at that. I don't know if I've seen it turning the other way. It's going clockwise the whole time. Is it going to go the other way now? Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it is going both ways. Okay. So that suggests that all of the relays in there are good. Yeah, don't know what to say about this one then. That kind of a repair I wouldn't be happy with. You could never sell a machine like that. Not that I sell them anyway. But if you were that kind of person, a repair like that I think would be completely adequate in your house where you knew that that's what you had done. And in fact, if I was doing that for myself, I'd probably take a pen and write what I'd done inside the machine. So next time I open it up, I'll know what's going on. Or even on the outside, on the side of the machine or something, if it's in a fitted unit. Don't know how long that'll last. Like, I was basically soldering onto 1mm of wire, but, you know, it's only for electrical continuity, really. There's no great load of current, or, I don't know about voltage, but there's no great load of current going down those cables to the tacho. It does seem to be stuttering a bit there, which I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if it's just because it's got an empty load or something. It should be going for a 1200 spin. that's what I've set it to. It's going even faster now. So I skipped the last 10 minutes there because I was getting bored with it. It was too loud to talk over. I was pondering, you know, if you'd made a repair like that, you could then bring this to a second-hand shop, and if they'd give you some money for it, second-hand appliance shop that is, they might give you some money for it. They wouldn't know that there was anything wrong with it, and they might sell it on, and then they'd find out later on that it had this little repair. I guess that's how reputations go and get made and broken. And if you're going to deal in used stuff, that's what you're up against, I guess. As it stands, we'll find out that this will probably get smashed. I don't want it. I might do a few willet washes, and if you've got any ideas, I think the next willet wash is probably going to be a load of timber, a load of pieces of wood, maybe firewood, maybe something else. I might do that on a short wash, quick wash. K setting on this one is a quick wash. Might do that with it, I'm not sure yet. Might just get a sunny day, hot wire the motor and go for it. There we go, that's the end of that. It should end pretty soon. But like I say, yeah, you're kind of, if you're running a second-hand shop and you're buying second-hand materials, or even if you got this as a trade-in and someone had just said, right, I'm going to fix it, it's crap, but I'm going to trade it in, maybe get some money off a new or another second-hand machine, because that's how these second-hand shops run. It's hard to know, like, it's hard to know how these things would work out in the end. Like, I don't think you could look for it, but would you spot that? Really, you just look at it and ask, is it working, and take your chances, and be glad that you've sold a new machine. There's the end. That's this one done. So, a Hotpoint Aquarius WMA32. It had a broken wire to the tacho, or from the tacho. I replaced both TRIACs, that was a waste of my time, but I was pretty happy with my soldering. I was a lot faster than I have been in the past, and I owe that to a hot soldering iron. I think that might be a 25 watt or a 50 watt. Actually, let me tell you. 40 watt soldering iron, and that seems to have a lot more poke than a 25 watt for getting the heat in there quite quickly. So desoldered and resoldered very, very quickly, and it also soldered up that wire on the tacho. I checked the brushes just visually from outside without taking them off, and they looked okay. Is it fixed? Is it not fixed? Tell me in the comments. Tell me what you think of the repair. I don't see how you could join the wire any other way other than maybe putting a little nail in and soldering it in, or a pin or something to join them that way. Another point of failure. New tacho. Can you get a tacho for a motor like this? I doubt it. Can you get a new motor? Probably, but that would cost money. More money than this machine is worth. I can't remember where I got this machine, but I'm pretty sure it was on the street somewhere. Left out for taking. Because it was broken. Because it had this fault. And then it spent the winter on my deck. And we are where we are. Thanks for watching. Questions or comments, leave them below. See you later.